Had a couple of pretty frustrating days here. I set up the alternator bracket and everything. Got it all on there with the water pump that was originally on this engine, and it leaked. Took it off, went to the parts store, got a new water pump. It leaked. The new water pump did not have, no one had ever put the gasket in the back of it back here, right inside where that plate is, or tightened the bolts. So I took it a little bit loose and tightened the bolts and put it back on. I was trying not to have to wrestle it out from in there, and it still leaked. So I took it off again, took it back to the store. They ordered me another one, got it back. Yesterday I took a day off and went kayaking, just because I don't like to work when I'm frustrated, and I was frustrated. So I needed to give myself a break. But I want to make this video to show you what I've made here as far as an alternator bracket for a Chevy that doesn't have a hole for an alternator bracket. So basically this is part of a cut-off alternator bracket, and I've welded a piece of metal on the back of it that comes forward enough to clear the water pump, and I also welded a bolt on the end of the bolt that holds the water pump in so that I could attach it right here. I put a second piece on here, and then this piece, this third piece, well actually this is all one piece because it's all welded, but it's made out of 3 pieces. And then this piece runs down to a little part that will go where the motor mount, this one has front motor mounts like a 57 Chevy, and it'll go right there. And what that does, it gives me 3 points of contact, and that is very sturdy. And it needs to be, because this lines up the pulley that goes with the water pump and the lower pump. So that's how I made that part. The other part, the adjustable swing part, is down here, and it's made out of an old wrench with a part of a Chevy. I have to basically put that on there to show you, which I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the camera off. I've reached the point where I don't want to film what I'm doing because I've had this go wrong so many times. I don't want to do it again and have it go wrong. So I'm going to cut the camera off, then I'll bring you back to look at it once everything's in place. Okay, I'll give you another shot of this before I put the hoses on it. So I showed you the bracket before. This piece in the front, made out of an old wrench, is the adjuster bracket. And basically it's pretty self-explanatory, and it mounts down there to the same bolt that goes into the motor mount. So that bolt serves 2 purposes. It stabilizes the alternator bracket, and it gives me a place to bolt the alternator bracket adjustment piece that's right there. So next thing I got to do, and I wanted to show you this before I did it, is I have to thread the radiator hose onto that and have it come down and come onto this. Now that fits there, but I wanted to get everything else in place first and make sure everything else is good. And now I'm ready to put that hose on there, put some water in there, put some gas in the tank, do a few other last minute things, and then we can hopefully hear her run. So I'm gonna cut the camera off once again, and we'll do some more stuff and come back. So I've been watching the gas line. You may remember when I was putting the gas pump on there, I was debating on which side of this pump switch direction. I haven't seen any gas come up into that clear filter. So I'm going to reverse the fuel lines and I'll be right back. Maybe I'll turn it over one more time just because with this gas I poured in there, it should be enough to run and run out. So maybe if I work the gas a little bit from here, reach over and do this, maybe something. Gas, so I'm going to do that thing I said with the gas line and I'll come back. It'd be nice if we had some gas up to the carburetor by now, wouldn't it? But we don't. Oh, I think I got a little grease on the can.